Okay, hello. I'm going to make a small rotation explanation video as I have done before for Abbas Walker. Uh, so before going into the rotation, I would like to explain what they changed in this patch. So if you read the patch note, you will know that they have made it so that Abyss Walker is highly reliant on Illusion Strike and also the Awakened Summon Shadow. Then they remove the CN3 for Plasma Burst, and then also remove the instant for LOD. But they add the instant for Night Explosion so that you have chance to trigger the Night Explosion instant whenever you cast this Abyss Walker skill. And LOD they move it to CN3, and they also add a lot of new stuff for LOD. But since we are in PvE content, we will probably want to cast the skill as fast as possible. So usually we just cast it with the CN3 Speedy Cut LOD. And another thing they made is that now the Speedy Cut has an iframe, so it's pretty useful if you want to just evade stuff with the Speedy Cut. Then other stuff are now you can cast summon Shadow Focus by itself, and then Killing Wave is nerfed a lot, so it's not as high as in priority as in before. And Abyss Claw, they made it so that the animation is super long, which I think is a nerf, because before won't take that long. Now it takes a lot of time when you don't have action speed buff. Other changes they made are that now you get additional damage when you apply the burn debuff, the dark burn debuff on the target, and you can get the dark burn debuff from various skills. For example, the most common one when you don't have Summon Shadow on is from Shadow Focus. Then your ulti also gives the Dark Burn, and Night Explosion also give, and LOD and Plasma Burst I believe won't give Dark Burn anymore. And Illusion Strike won't give Dark Burn, but the Abyss Strike will. Then Nightfall doesn't give Dark Burn as usual, so basically I would say that just use Night Explosion and Shadow Focus for the Dark Burn. And when you're in Shadow mode, remember to use the Abyss Strike every now and then to make sure that the boss is always on Dark Burn. And then another stuff they add is the Spectral Guys. This stuff, before it's only used for PvP. Now they added so that it's a solo skill. I won't say the skill is super high damage, because it's not. It's kind of shitty damage, but since Abyss Walker have a lot of skill with very long CD, so you can just use it as a filler skill. Then after this, I would like to talk about the plates you should use. So generally, plates you will want to use as usual Dark Conviction damage plate, Illusion Strike damage plate, then Line of Darkness CD plate, then Nightfall CD plate. But Nightfall CD plate is not that important for the future patches, because for the current patch, Nightfall has a damage bug where it does abnormally high damage at the first hit, and you can see that it doesn't match with the barrier summon attack power that's written on the skill description. They will fix it in, I think, maybe November patch or October patch. I will say more possible if they fix it in the November patch. But for now, while we have this bug, we can abuse it by using the Nightfall CD plate. Also, another bug that I noticed is with shadow focus, because originally it should be 16 seconds cooldown, but somehow, even though if you don't use the premium skill plate of cooldown on shadow focus, it will still get the cooldown reduction. And if you use the skill plates, the cooldown will still be 12.8. It won't change. So that, I think, is pretty much a bug. But anyways, it's a good thing for Abyss Walkers. Okay. So next I need to talk about the main rotation. So basically, Abyss Walker now have like two modes. One is with the Summon Shadow, which you can see has 75 seconds. So generally, I will say you will want to debuff before you use Summon Shadow. When you are doing soloing, this is like probably a good idea, because debuff make you much stronger as usual. So when you are not soloing, you can consider just get the dark burn on the boss, then you can start DPSing, because the other people will take care of the element debuff and the increased damage debuff. So let's say that someone will do the increased damage debuff and you only need to apply the dark burn and also the element debuff. You will want to start with Night Explosion for every summon shadow. So after doing this, you will go into this Illusion Strike stem. And for me, I think it's best if you use like Abyss Strike consecutively, so that you won't waste time in recasting Illusion Strike. I didn't did it properly, but let me just redo it again. Just get all the bubbles backwards, so that we can have a... Okay, now we are clean. Usually I would like to also cast Shadow Focus after casting Night Explosion. So, because Shadow Focus has a very high board damage. And after this, I will just spam Illusion Strike. Okay, two Abyss Strike, then back to Illusion Strike. The last one, you can do another Abyss Strike before ending. So it will look like this. Well, there's other people that say if you have enough action speed buff, you actually shouldn't use Abyss Strike, because Illusion Strike with the action speed buff is very OP. But currently my Abyss Walker doesn't have Fremstone on, because I didn't buy this month, so I have no way of testing it. But you can kind of get it. If you want to use Abyss Strike, I will recommend you to use it consecutively. So use it at every 50 bubble 100 bubbles. This is for a reason, because you see, if you use it every 50, you need to restart the Illusion Strike. So the more Abyss Strike you cast, the more Illusion Strike the more Illusion Strike you need to start, and the first few hit of the Illusion Strike is very slow. So you rather just stack the Abyss Strike together. And it's not like that if you do this you can deal more damage, because casting each Abyss Strike separately will end up like less DPS, because the animation is just too long. Okay, so that's for Summon Shadow. Then let's look at the normal rotation of Abyss Walker. So as usual, you should start with the debuff. Then the Dark Conviction. Make sure when you cast Dark Conviction, you don't cast the Night Explosion instant for a very obvious reason, because the Night Explosion currently still have a bug with the ulti. So when you have the ulti on, you shouldn't cast Night Explosion unless the boss is running away already. It's actually pretty simple. Just cast each skill when possible. I will say it's best if you can cancel the end of your skill with Night Explosion. And then when you see the bubble is almost 50%, almost 100, you can just use Abyss Strike here. So it will look like this. And for the filler skills, I will say that it's best for you to use Line of Darkness, Abyss Claw, and the ulti first. And remember, before using those skills, the boss must have all debuffs on it. So you need to cast Shadow Focus and Night Explosion, and also Nightfall if you are solo. If you are not solo, you just need to cast Shadow Focus. And because of Shadow Focus having such high board damage now, you should also cast Shadow Focus whenever it's possible. Then Nightfall, because of the bug, you should also cast it whenever it's possible, because the first hit deals like tons of damage. Then after casting all that, your next choice will be Illusion Strike. Then after casting Illusion Strike, if you still have time, you can cast Killing Wave or Spectral Geist. The last skill you'll want to cast is actually Plasma Burst. For me, I don't even make Plasma Burst like 16. I'd rather get the points to Chakra Energy, because Plasma Burst is a very low damage skill, and because they removed the CN3, you can't cast it very fast. You need to jump then cast to make it work properly. And let me just teach us easy way to make it something similar like the OCN3. So you can see I put Outbreak on it. So if you know, Outbreak will have a normal attack button attack. So you can cast Plasma Burst at very low heights with Outbreak. So it will look like this. This is the fast cast for Plasma Burst. But if you ask me if it's good to use, I will say nah, because Plasma Burst doesn't deal very high damage. And even if you max it, it will be around like 4k damage. And if you calculate it with the EX, it will only be around like 7k, 5k damage. Not 7k, probably 6k damage. And it's not very impressive, because you can see like even Spectral Geist deal similar damage as Night Explosion, but it is more easy to cast, because you don't need to cast the Outbreak before it, or you don't need to jump before it. But the Outbreak Plasma Burst is pretty nice though. Oh wait, I cast it the wrong way. Just remember, when you cast Spectral Geist, you need to use the forward key. You can see that Spectral Geist actually deal like more damage than Plasma Burst, or at least the same damage. I won't say like it's super good, but it's a better filler skill than Plasma Burst. And also note that Plasma Burst has iframe when you start it, so you can probably use it as a iframe skill. Yeah, that's basically about it. And also they kind of changed the animation of Rubicon, so it's much slower to cast. as compared as before. If you just let it end by itself, which actually is a good thing because it means like more airtime. But I will say probably shouldn't use Rubicon to cancel skills anymore because it takes a long time for it to end. And also they increase the CD. So usually just use it for stomps or triggering the FDN weapon skill. I won't be triggering FDN weapon skill for this rotation. Let's just start a normal rotation and see if like it works. And for optimization, I will say if you want to do a perfect rotation, which is not realistic if you think about it in combat. But if you want perfect rotation, you should actually use up all your high CD skills before using your summon shadow. But for my case, I will only use Dark Conviction. I won't use Abyss Claw because it takes too much time to cast. But actually, you should use Abyss Claw before even using Summon Shadow. But problem with that is your Night Explosion debuff will get outdated if you do it that way. So it's very simple. Just start with Night Explosion, Summon Shadow Focus Nightfall, then use the ulti, then you can start using your Summon Shadow. You debuff it. That's 10 golems. So as you can see, the rotation is pretty simple. It's just like try to cast your skill based on the DPS and cast it like based on how much time it takes to cast. You can see that I usually prefer to cast Line of Darkness first over Abyss Claw, because Abyss Claw takes very long to cast. From the damage meter, you can also see that the highest DPS skills are mostly Illusion Strike. Then you get Dark Conviction, Nightfall, Shadow Focus, and Line of Darkness. I will say probably don't get plates for Shadow Focus, because you see the CD plate is kind of bugged at the moment, since I'm not even using CD plate and I get the CD plate. In fact, if I use the CD plate, I won't get the there won't be a difference in cooldown. I'm not really sure if it's same with the damage plate, but usually it works that way from my experience. Yeah. Then Line of Darkness, if you cast it a lot, actually it should be higher than Shadow Focus. And also the good thing about Line of Darkness, it's like a very fast casting skill. So I will say it's like probably a very good candidate if you want to finish something fast or drop the HP low than Shadow Focus and the other skills. So I'll say that's all for Abyss Walker now. The rotation is pretty simple. Just remember there's two modes. One is the mode when you don't have Summon Shadow on. For that one, all you want to do is spam the higher DPS skills, Abyss Claw, Line of Darkness, Shadow Focus, Nightfall, and Dark Conviction. All the other time, you should spam Illusion Strike instead of the other skill. And I think you shouldn't even use Night Explosion, the normal Night Explosion, not the instant, unless you want to debuff. Then Plasma Burst, I don't see any point of using it because it's very low damage. But a good thing about it is that it's iframe. And if you really want to use it to DPS, use it with Outbreak so that you won't take that much time for landing. Okay, and that's that. Then Special Guise is a very good skill since it's very fast casting. And you can see that I like to use Spectral Guise and also Line of Darkness in my rotation a lot because they are very fast casting. Yeah. Okay. I'll say that's all for today's video. Another thing I think I need to say is that you shouldn't play Abyss Walker if you don't have Salamander Helm and Shoe, because it makes a very big difference. And you might ask like how big the difference is. I can just show it to you right now. Just note the additional damage now is 16%. I won't do that much golem, but I will just probably do 5 golem just to let you know like how much the additional damage changed. And note that although I'm using Salamander Shoe now, my critical isn't full yet. It's only 72%, so the actual additional damage will be higher. Okay. Okay, I guess that's enough. Although my Summon Shadow isn't that good, I will say I kind of fucked up a bit. But you can see how much additional damage just the helm and the shoe give me, and I'm not even full critical yet. So that's like 16% just in additional damage. And you need to note that because the golem HP isn't very consistent compared to like rating, so the effect of Goddess Helm will be less in golem than in rating, in my opinion. So can see that how important the Goddess Helmet and shoe for Illusion Strike is now. And obviously for skill up you should choose Illusion Strike. And yeah, that's probably all. And you guys might see me post more Abyss Walker gameplay when I have the Labyrinth points to enhance my helmet and shoe. Currently I only have like 408. I will play more Abyss Walker when I get both of them to +10, and probably will have a BDN run with Abyss Walker. Probably next week. Okay, thanks for watching, and can ask me any questions under the comments. And sorry for the long video, because it's kind of hard to organize it for me, since I don't have that much time to play DN now. Okay, bye!